Before this video starts, I just wanted to quickly explain to you guys what this video actually is. I did a interview with djuric, the squat every day guy. If you don't know him, he has a series where he squats every day, and he's been doing it for around 980 days or something. And he does a sort of a podcast or a one main podcast or a little talk about his training and his how it's going with his life in squat every day. Some like 10 to 25 minute videos, and I've been watching them for since I don't know day 600 or something, something like that. And today, me and him did a video together where we just talked about training, pretty much. So, and the audio was missing here in the start, sadly. So I'm skipping 20 minutes into the interview, and here we are talking about how he started the squat every day journey.
I'm gonna train at home, and I'm gonna record these sessions because I want to remember this. And somehow, I don't know why, I started recording all of them. You know, nobody was watching, man. Like at this time,
Yeah.
like the YouTube channel was so small; it was literally just a library for my lift.
Yeah, I remember you had around the same followers as me. We had around 300 subscribers or something.
Yeah, like it was tiny. And I remember at the time, this is how I discovered you. I would go onto YouTube and I would type in squat. And, be like just scrolling through to see, you know, other people how they.
Yeah, I've heard you talk about that.
Yeah, and that popped up, and I was like, Jesus Christ, this guy's strong enough. So I left a comment, and yeah, that kind of stuff, and I have no idea, man. And now all of a sudden, like when I see 100,000 people subscribed, I'm like, I don't even know, like, dude, I honestly don't know why people are watching. Obviously, there's many factors, and maybe it's the squatting, maybe it's because I talk a lot of shit. I don't know, but it's hard to believe, man. It's hard to believe where all of this has ended.
Well, I've been listening to all your videos since around day, I think 500, somewhere between like the 600 range. I'm not sure exactly where, because in the start it was just like once a week, and then it became like a ritual that I do every day. I just put in my earphones and just listen to it when I'm doing stuff, when I'm going to the gym or when I'm doing stuff, and it's a bit like a podcast or something for me.
You know, it's people tell me all the time, man, how the hell they talk so much, man? What do you have?
Yeah.
And honestly, like I don't know if I'm just different like that, but I think maybe I could say even for you, we all have these thoughts.
Yeah.
You know, like about squatting, you're always thinking about this stuff. Like, man, what's going on there? Like, why is it like that? You know, and I think the only difference that for me, I just talk it into a camera. You know, I'm like.
Yeah, but you're also really good at expressing that stream of consciousness or whatever it is into the camera, while many people can think it but not say it out loud.
Maybe that's a thing. I mean, people at work have told me even way before the YouTube channel, they used to tell me, you know, on night duty when quietens down a little bit, they would often tell me, you know, Ivan, tell us a story. Ivan, story time with Ivan, story time with Ivan. And so like I have like this, I have this way of maybe telling a story that's a bit more interesting. I'm not sure, man.
You're probably good at like staying on track while still making it funny and like keeping it interesting and having your like stream of consciousness, just random thoughts whenever. Like sometimes in your videos, you like kind of like get caught off in some way or something, and you just keep talking about one thing, but you always end up talking about the main point of the video.
I'm back.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's you know, I think one of the other things that people relate, this is kind of my perspective, is that I'm not the best.
Yeah, you're not like insane genetics or super strong.
Yeah.
Like you're still very impressive, but you make it work. It's also because you can train every day while you have 2 kids, you have a wife, you have a job, you have so many things, but you still make it work. I think that's one of the main things that inspires people.
Yeah, it's like I'm like a real guy, you know, a real job, and I think a lot of these people that we look up to in the fitness industry, maybe like the big guys, maybe we can't relate to somebody driving a freaking Ferrari around a Lamborghini and having their own gym, and you know, and all these famous people around. Like when I watch those videos, I'm like, great, man, but that's not my life, you know. I have to change a nappy before I turn camera, man. Like that's my life. There's no Ferraris, you know. It's just
Yeah, you're also very like down to earth or like very laid back, chill,
yeah, you know.
like everybody else.
Well, this is the thing. Like people tell me all the time, "Oh, Ivan, I can't believe you messaged back. You're a big YouTuber now." I'm like, fucking, I'm not like a just normal guy. Like I don't
Yeah,
feel big. Like the number says 100,000 people, man, but my life is the same, man. Like there's no
yeah,
Ferraris, normal house, like, needs renovations.
yeah,
Like, just a normal guy, you know. So I don't know. Maybe I'm a bit more mature. You know, maybe like I often talk about this, like Justin Bieber. You know, like if somebody gave me $100 million at 16, maybe it would change me as well. You know.
yeah,
But as a 33-year-old, I'm like 100,000 people following me. It's like that's great, but there are other things on my mind. Like it's not.
it's not
I don't know.
consuming you in that way.
No, not at all. But everyone's different. I don't know. It's just like a whole bunch of things that kind of led me to kind of be the way I am. Um, but I don't like when people have this feeling like I'm better than you or you're better than
Oh,
me or oh man, what are you talking about, man? Like we're all headed to the ground anyway, man. Like
yeah,
it's a repellent to me.
yeah,
That was the cool thing when I spoke to Pete. Pete Rubish.
yeah,
I've watched that for such a long time, and then like the first time I saw him, like when we were doing one of these things, I thought, shit, he's just a normal guy, man.
yeah, yeah,
And I'm sure if Michael Jordan was right here talking to me, I'd be like, man, you're just a normal guy, man. Like,
yeah, exactly.
I grew up watching him, loving him, and it's like, you're gonna get thirsty, you're gonna want to eat something, you're gonna go take a shit, then you're gonna go to sleep, you're gonna go drive a car, like same crap.
Yeah, we're all still humans in the end. So yeah. Also, you train the squat, bench, and deadlift.
Yeah.
Maybe not as much the bench press, but the squat and deadlift at least. So why don't you compete in powerlifting? Like,
Yeah, I get this question a lot. I guess the thing that I always say to people is like I'm not like good, in a way. Like I know what the record is for my weight class. I know what the world record is, and powerlifting is essentially a relatively low skill sport.
yeah, yeah,
So, like, I'm not going to rock up on a day and lift 50 times more than. I just got this meeting will end in 10 minutes. Upgrade now. Say 40% off Zoom. Oh, I just got a message.
yeah. I can see it as well.
Oh, damn it.
Well, I can just make a meet after this if you want to.
Yeah, okay, we can do that. So I guess like I know what the world records are, I know what the state records are, or whatever, and I just thought I'm not gonna get a surprise if I go to the. It's not like basketball. Like I might steal the ball.
Yeah, yeah. It's more like you know what's gonna happen at the day, like in the training before. It's not as skilled. It's more strength or whatever. It's very predictable what's gonna happen.
Exactly, and that's why I'm like, okay. I mean, I'm sure it would be nice to go and meet like-minded people and whatnot, but I don't know. I always felt like it wasn't even worth it. Like to take a day out, I'd rather, go out with the family instead or something like that. Like it's.
Yeah, I get what you mean. Well, I train in a powerlifting club where everybody competes, but like I'm the only one there with a few exceptions that actually makes records and stuff. But everybody still likes to compete, and just the experience of going to the competition and prepping to it and making something out of like doing everything you need to do on the day and get hyped up and everything like that. And it's still it's the experience of doing the competition that's nice. It doesn't have to be about breaking new records and stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what people have told me as well. Like, just go one time, you'll enjoy, you'll get hooked, you'll like the feeling, I guess. I suppose. I mean, really, I should go one of these days. In fact, the other week, a few of the guys that I see in the gym, they went to a meet here recently, and they post up the videos on Instagram, and I follow a few of the fellas, and it's a small meet and whatever,
Yeah.
like not a all that, but it kind of
Yeah,
looks
but
fun.
just a local meet with the atmosphere there, and everybody is like into this, and everybody knows what's happening, and it's nice being there.
Yeah, I
You,
probably should at some point.
I think you should at least try to like go to a local meet. You don't have to compete, but just with someone you know or something, and just experience the atmosphere there, where everybody is like hyping each other up and helping each other, and
I'm just thinking to myself, like, if I was squatting every day all the way up until the meet.
that was the first peak ever done like that.
Very, very unique.
Yes.
Oh, man. That is funny. I should one of these days do something like that.
Yeah, I just think you should like try the experience of going there, seeing what you feel about it. You don't have to compete and try to like aim for world records and stuff like that. It doesn't have to be about that. For many people,
Yeah,
it's just a motivation or having like a specific goal, like your 300 kg squat. It's more about the journey, but just having something specific to aim for. It doesn't have to actually be the world record.
yeah. I mean, now that you said that, I thought about basketball. I mean, I love playing basketball, and I know I'm never going to be in the NBA. It's kind of like that,
Yeah,
isn't it?
yeah, exactly. You have like just some sort of goal or something to reach for, and like some structure, or you training up to something, and then you get, I don't know, for me, I get super motivated by it.
Yeah,
Also when I'm not breaking any records or doing anything like that.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, for you, in your shoes, if I was in your shoes, oh man, oh, this stuff, man. I mean, you
Yeah,
are deep, man. Like it's like in 10 years, I can imagine you. I mean, it depends. This is the thing. Like I don't know, man. Like eventually you will reach a genetic, peak.
yeah,
Eventually maybe you're gonna just reach that ceiling a little bit sooner than me because you started too
yeah.
early. So maybe at, I don't know, 21, 22, 23, I don't know, 25, you're gonna reach the peak,
I think it's somewhere
and then
between like 25 and 35.
yeah, then you'll need like some. I mean, if you look at like John Hack and all these boys, like even Pete Rubish and all that, they're quite open about steroid use and whatever. And I feel like,
Yeah.
and then you have other guys who are saying they're lifting like 900 pounds and like naturally. I'm like, I don't know if it's
Yeah.
possible. What the hell wrong with that, man? But say it's possible. Well, maybe it's possible for you to
Yeah,
consult
well, right
900.
right now I think I can achieve world records and stuff like that as a sub junior in the IPF, but I don't think it's long term, because when I get up to older age categories, people are gonna be like the fake natties and the stuff like that, and I just, then for me it's okay to be top 10 instead of top 1,
Yeah,
because I don't want to do that. Or at least if I should ever go that route, I would go into an untested federation, not claim anything.
yeah. But you know what the funny thing about that is? Like, I respect Pete. I've always respected Pete. When he first reached out, I was like, hell yeah, I want to chat with you, man.
Yeah.
And he used, I'm not anti-drugs, man. I just hate fake
Yeah,
people, man.
same. Yes.
Like, you be seeping steroids out of your ears, man.
Yeah.
You and I can talk. I don't care. But be honest. So I reckon if you at that point, whatever in your life, you're like, guys, I'm not doing it. Everyone's gonna love you anyway, man. Like people
Yeah.
are like, oh no, I have to be fake. It's just like they trick themselves into thinking they're gonna have a bigger following or have a bigger
Yeah.
respect. It's actually
Yeah, obviously you should not promote it for like earlier like stuff like that, but you at least have to be honest about it.
yeah, yeah. I guess that's always been one of those arguments that people are keeping it undercovers because they don't want to promote drug use. They don't want to, tell that 15-year-old do
Yeah.
steroids. But I think you can tell people what you're doing and still say don't do it.
Yeah, I agree 100%.
That's the biggest thing, and I think that's why Pete has such a respect in the community, because I don't know, maybe Rich Piana was the first guy that I saw who was like fully open about everything.
Yeah.
And then I remember Pete. I don't know, a few other guys who are like really, really open. Maybe, I don't know. I can't think of people, but
I mean, Larry Reels and John Heck and I think most people that competes in the, I don't know what the federation is, but the Showdown Federation, the one John Heck is competing at right now, I believe most of those
yeah,
guys are open about it.
yeah, it's nice. I mean, I know for a fact that even if I took exactly what John Hacking's doing, like I'm nowhere near him. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
he's still just as impressive as without it.
exactly, exactly. And you listen to stories, he was doing crazy numbers even before he started taking stuff.
Yeah, like he competed in the IPF for quite a long time. He was world champion many years in a row, I believe, in the natural status. But then I'm not sure why he switched. Maybe he thought his competitors was on something, and he just couldn't match it. And then he decided to self-juice, but he still didn't want to compete in the tested, so he switched to the untested, as you should do if you're on something. And then he just was the best in the world.
Yeah.
And now he's like getting to be the greatest of all time soon, I believe. Like 90 kg bodyweight and totaling 1,000 kg. Also, he's so like aesthetically pleasing compared to other powerlifters. He squats high bar and he benches close grip without an arch and he deadlifts conventional. And he's the strongest in the world at the same time. It's amazing to look at.
It is amazing. To me, like, hopefully he's gonna be that person that changes the landscape.
Yeah.
I would love everyone to high bar close. Oh man.
Did you see IPF wanted to change the rule for bench press here the other day, or a few days ago?
Oh.
There was the European Championships in bench press, and there was so many of those zero ROM bench presses. So they called the president of IPF. He wanted to change the rule, and he wanted to eliminate arching, a flat back.
Oh. Okay.
Something like that. That's up for vote soon. So I think they definitely want to get rid of the zero ROM bench press.
I mean, like, you need to arch a little bit. Like, I don't know how flat is flat.
Yeah, I mean, for me, my shoulders would get destroyed if I didn't arch.
That's the thing. Like, you don't want to, like, complete, like, even when I like, put a hollow back, like, it's not completely flat.
Yeah.
But line somewhere there where it becomes stupid, Yeah.
We obviously can't eliminate arching, I think, because then I think the president of IPF, whatever he's called, he actually said he wanted to make a vote of people having a flat back on the bench press for a new rule. I don't even know how you would judge that. I also don't know, like, what is a exactly flat back and what is a little bit, like, I don't know. I think this is not the way to remove zero range of motion bench press.
It's a problem. I think the reason why they've struggled with it so long is because how do you come up with a rule? Because how do you judge the arch?
Yeah.
You need like some sort of concrete flag or point or something. I don't know how you go about it.
I don't know either, man. Maybe, to me, the most, like, solution that doesn't seem to bother too many people would be maybe in the 93 kg weight class and less, or like all the lower weight classes, there is a different ring for the max grip width, so they can't hold as wide. I think that would eliminate zero range of motion bench press, but people would still have crazy arches and would still be short range of motion, but just not.
They'll just touch their pelvis.
Yeah. It's also crazy that people are stronger that way. Like, I reckon you and me are not as strong, like down to the belly bench pressing. I can't.
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
It makes no sense. Like, so this is the problem with powerlifting for me, man. This is why, like, I always think a sport like Olympic weightlifting is just it's just easy to judge. Like, it's just get the bar up, whatever, man.
Yeah.
With powerlifting, it's so hard to tell. Like, is it parallel? Is it not parallel? I've
Yeah.
seen so many, and you look at it and you're like, man, like the guy's so big. He's such a big man. Like,
Yeah.
you don't know what the hell is going on. Like, has he bent his knees? Like, it's hard to judge, man. It's like, that's a quarter squat. Like, my God. Like,
Yeah.
and there's the other thing, humongous calves, and you have huge hamstrings. Fat
Yeah,
dude.
and they bounce it on.
Yeah, you can't even get to AT. You can't.
Also, when they get like super fat, they can bounce their belly and their quads and stuff like.
Oh my.
Have you seen Ray Williams' 490 kg raw squat?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
It's
first of all a crazy feat of strength, but it is also it looks a bit funny how he's so explosive off the hole, and then when he has no more bounce, it slows down and like.
yeah, exactly. At that point where it's just all him and the weight, he slows down. It makes
Yeah.
sense. That's the trouble with this stuff. Like every lift in powerlifting, I have a problem with it. And then the other thing is that really annoys me is the whippy bars, the super
Yeah,
whippy bars.
yeah, but that's not an issue in IPF. They all use
Yeah,
stiff bars there.
it bars.
But that's actually the biggest issue with powerlifting, I believe, that there are so many different federations and different rules and different like equipped and multiply and single ply and no equipment and so many different small tweaks that makes a big difference in the end.
Yeah,
Like
that's right. It's hard. You need standardization so everyone's on the equal plane.
yeah,
Right now, teams there are 50 million different like changes, and then there's also the fake natties on top of everything.
yeah. It's
I don't know
crazy.
what
And
am I watching? I don't know what I'm watching.
yeah, instead of Olympic weightlifting, everything is the exact same. Just some people are fake natties and that's all. That's like the only issue there is there.
Yeah,
But like
yeah,
the rules are the exact same, the bars are the same, the weights are the same, the equipment is the same, everything else is the same.
the same. Yeah. I mean, like we probably follow the same pages on Instagram, on YouTube, and you see these guys who are pulling like 450 kilos, 460, and whatever, and then you see a guy like what's his name, Ivan Makarov.
Yeah,
Makarov,
Ivan
something.
Makarov. Yeah,
Yeah, and he's lifting like conventional, and he's a big guy, like he's a mountain of a
yeah,
man, and he can't do stuff that some other guy did with that whippy bar. It's just like, is that, are we comparing apples and apples, or
yeah.
it's hard?
Yeah, also the strongman deadlift confuses the powerlifting deadlift because the strongman they use like the whippy bar, they use a deadlift suit, they use deadlift straps, they use so much equipment and they're allowed to use all the gear they want to, like all the steroids and stuff like that.
Yeah,
Everything is allowed in strongman except sumo, which is
yeah,
kind of funny.
and they're hitching the
Oh
thing,
yeah, they're
so
also allowed to hitch the weight in the top. It's crazy.
God,
So
it's just
like
funny.
the strongman deadlift is over 100 kg higher than the IPF deadlift record. Like
Wow, is it that?
yeah, the IPF record is 398.5. No one has pulled 400 yet under a stiff bar without straps tested.
Wow,
That's a very
so
big
that
difference.
very big difference. I did not know that.
Yeah, many people get surprised that no one has actually pulled 400 kg like that.
That is interesting. Oh, so what? So no, any weight class. That's just
Any weight
anything.
class. That's the super heavyweight. Ray Williams, he pulled 398.5 in a
Wow.
international competition at least.
See, I didn't know that. See, and he's a huge man.
Yeah, I think he was around almost 180 kilos when he pulled that or something insane. And he's not even like that tall. I think he's like 190 centimeters or something. So he's very tall,
Wow.
but he's not like
Yeah,
half to a Bjornsson or something.
yeah, that's right. Because Bjornsson is
I think he's 2 meters and
he's al-
five or something.
and he's also 180 kilos or something like that, isn't he?
I think his
Or is he more?
peak was 200, I believe. But for him, it didn't even look that bad, to be honest. Like his
No,
silhouette was not fat. He like he
yeah.
obviously had something to give, but he almost had abs under it. Like it was crazy.
You know what the first thought that I just thought of when you said 200 kilos? Like, such a random thought, man. But imagine we are like in the medieval era and we have swords and bows and whatever, and we're in war, and you see a guy that approaching you. What the fuck is that? And he's got a big hammer. Like, how would you get to that guy? Like, that is a bear of a man.
Yeah,
Simply, that is. Like, I remember Shaquille O'Neal. He was, I think, at his biggest, he was like 350 or 60 pounds or something like that.
yeah. So like
And he,
167 kg,
yeah,
something like
and he's
that.
like 2 or something, whatever, 7'1", and he's a huge man. And then imagine a guy that's 200 kilos at 6'9" or whatever Beyonce
Yeah,
is.
it's crazy. I also think have to be honest, in there in 2019, he was peak human strength ever. Like I can't see anyone have ever been stronger than he was there.
Is that the year he pulled that deadlift?
Yeah, that was the
Was that
year
that?
he, or maybe 2020, I can't remember, but somewhere when he pulled the 501, I don't think anyone's
Yeah,
ever been stronger than he was there.
yeah, man, that's a huge.
So much
Yeah, I
raw
don't know.
power.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, you need to be a big human being as a baseline, and then you need that strength. That very unique. I mean, this is the thing. Like, you and I talk about squatting this, that, the other, but yeah, it takes a huge man to lift this much weight.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
it's I don't know if Johnson has long arms or short arms or whatever he's got. He just
I don't know, man. I think he must have some sort of long arms, but on the other hand, he's also very strong overhead. I think he did like 210 kg overhead press with the axle bar, something insane. So I don't know.
Jesus. Would you ever go into strongman? Is that something ever that interests you?
Nah, not really. Strongman is so like I like specificity and training for one specific thing. Being able to practice the skill, just like Olympic weightlifting, I can do powerlifting. While strongman is like the opposite, even worse than powerlifting. It's just so many different events and so many different things, and it seems a bit like random what it is and some of the stuff. And I like to be able to train very specifically to I know it's these plates on this bar and this setup and everything, this bench, and I like it very specific, and that's not strongman.
No,
Also, I don't think
strongman.
there is any tested strongman federations.
Oh yeah, that's the other thing, isn't it? Yeah, that's the other thing. It's just you need to be general strength. Uh, Also, for some reason, I don't know why I think about this, but when I think about strongman, I think about guys of that size, like Thor. I don't know if anybody watches guys that are like sub 90 kilos or whatever the classes are.
I
I
don't
don't know if
think
that's
they're. I think they exist. There is weight classes in strongman, but I don't think it's that big of a deal. Like
yeah,
not too many people worry about that.
yeah. So maybe it's for bigger people. Like, I don't know. I don't think I'm big enough to be a strongman competitor.
I think you could compete in the minus 100 kg weight class if that exists. I don't know.
Yeah,
I mean, you have a
yeah.
lot of general strength, I believe.
The cool thing about strongman is that you can, like, if you're a lighter guy, you can win exercises, win rounds, for running or speed,
Yeah,
like but you can make up ground there for like the brute strength.
yeah,
But it's balance. Like, what if that competition is more set up towards, you know,
yeah. Heavier guys or lighter guys, and yeah.
yeah,
To me, I like it very specific. Just like
yeah,
a squat is a squat, and that's the same thing every time.
yeah.
But
I like that as well. I would not be talking to you here, man, if I didn't see Clarence Kennedy and Klokov and Lou and all that. Like, that to me drew my attention. Like, I remember seeing I don't know if you know the guy, Pudzianowski.
Yeah, Mariusz Pudzianowski, like, yeah.
Yeah, I remember like back in the day, man, we didn't have NBA TV or anything like that. So you'd watch one NBA game on a Saturday on ESPN, the stuff we'll get in Australia, and then straight after you'll be strongman competition or something like that. And I remember Pudzianowski was killing it. Like he's the
Yeah.
only guy he's just fully jacked.
Yeah. He was almost
You know,
shredded. It was crazy.
yeah. I mean, I don't know what he was taking, but it was different to what the other stuff, other
I,
people were taking.
I actually think he is the only guy that has ever failed a doping test in strongman.
Oh,
I'm not entirely sure, but he failed a doping test because they still have some sort of doping. I'm not sure what it is. I think all steroids are allowed, but maybe some like stuff where you can't
yeah.
feel pain or something he took. I don't know,
Ah.
because they do test for something.
I'll tell you a story, man. You just reminded me of something. I remember going to a basketball trip. This is like I was like 16 or 17 years old. 16, I reckon I was. And I got down with a cold like a few days before the competition. We had like 4 or 5 games over the weekend. So we took a bus. We drove like 5 or 6 hours to get there, and I'm feeling shit, like achy joints and whatever. And we rock up to the stadium of the game, and I'm like, man, I feel shit ass, like half fever, and I'm not feeling great. And I went into the pharmacy, like into a chemist, and I basically got. It's called, I don't know what, probably you wouldn't have it. It's called Limp Sip. Basically, it's Panadol, dissolvable Panadol, and it's like in powder form, and you put it in a drink, basically tea, and you
Yeah.
drink that, right? This is my only doping story, man. I'm telling you that. And I put this in a 2 liter bottle, and I was drinking this while we were playing. And no kidding, when you said, pain relief, is not allowed in
Yeah.
strongman, I was running like a maniac, like, because I had some analgesia from the Panadol. Man, I'm playing crazy, man. I'm sick, right? I've got fever. And
Yeah.
I remember running, gunning, and I was like so athletic, fit, because I had Panadol in the system, right? Like that's what I thought was the cause of all of this. It's like, how do you go from feeling shit out sick, having this drink, Panadol, and feeling amazing? And then years down the track, I heard Ronnie Coleman was taking endo, like oxycodone pain relief tablets before
Yeah.
sessions. Like, I mean, and oxycodone is like a heavy pain reliever. Well, I lost you there.
Can you still hear me?
Yeah, back.
Nice.
Yeah, man, like I took Panadol for this game, and I felt amazing. And then like doping is like it is so many levels. Because really, when you're doing your a set of, I don't know, let's say set of 20 on squat, pain is the big stopper, right?
Yeah.
Everything hurts.
Yeah.
So if yourself, don't worry about the steroids, don't worry about all this other growth hormone, insulin, all this crap. Just take a pain reliever. I reckon you could get more reps out of yourself because you're not feeling pain.
Yeah.
So there's also that. I mean, I don't
There's so many different things that people do to achieve the things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you can be a crazy man. You're driven crazy, and that's why you're a masochist and you love pain and you put that extra 4 or 5 reps. Or you just take some tablets, wash that shit down, and put big squat routine and smash everything.
That's crazy.
It's just so many elements to it. To me, that's the other thing, man. It's so off-putting, man. Like, we talk about all the different competitions and barbells and sleeves and different ATG, parallel squats, sumo, and then you put the drugs in it, and the drugs is just like a completely different thing, and it's just, I don't know, man. It's sickening when you really start thinking about it, and that's maybe one of the reasons why I never kind of let myself think about competing, because I'm kind of just like, what's the point, man? Like, what am I getting out of this? Like, there's so many, especially at these local competitions, no one's going to test anybody, man. I don't know. Maybe I'm thinking about it the wrong way. I'm sure there's more people doing the right thing than not.
Yeah, I mean, at least here in Denmark, we also have like very strict. Everybody hates steroids here. Like, literally in commercial gyms, people get tested. No. Why did it do that? Okay, I'm back now.
No,
Literally, just in commercial gyms, people get tested for drugs here and there because everybody, I think also in Netherlands and a few of these Nordics countries, everybody
yeah.
hates steroids. So there is a very big culture against it. So I believe here at the local meets, most people are actually not on using anything.
Oh, that is nice to hear, man. That really is nice to hear. Um, I don't know what it is about Australia, man, but back in the day when I was going out, like before I met my wife and all that, I'd go out clubbing with the boys and drinks and whatever, and there was guys over there just taking steroids so they look strong in the t-shirt.
Yeah,
You
that's
they don't
I've never understood that. I think that's crazy to do.
crazy. He just wants to be the biggest guy in the pub.
It makes no for me. It makes no sense. I understand John Heck and like the Reels and those guys. They're like literally the best in the world, and they
Yeah,
don't claim anything that they're not. And I think to
exactly.
me that makes sense. But if you just want to look a little bigger and stuff like that to look party and impress girls, like
Oh my god.
oh my god,
It's the girls don't even like that, man. Like I don't know how many girls like a guy that can freaking barely walk through the door. Like that
yeah,
swollen feeling. Like I mean, I don't know if maybe I'm talking to the wrong girls or whatever, man. But I've never met a girl that said, "Oh, Ivan, I don't like you because your traps are not big enough." You know,
no,
you know, like no one said that to me, man. Like
no.
maybe I just don't talk to the right girls. No, that's
Actually,
strange.
about girls, me and my girlfriend did it. We always watch your videos together and talk about them, like stuff like that. And she wanted to know if have ever been into philosophy.
No, I've read a few books. Maybe I used to read a fair bit, um, but I never really dove into stoicism or
No,
something like that.
yeah, she's
I
really into stoicism. So
Oh, there you go. So I don't know how it happened, but I think I'm naturally, a stoic. I don't know whether I started making these videos, and somebody said to me the same thing, Ivan. Like you seem like you're well read in stoicism, and I
yeah,
was like, no, I don't know what it is, man. Like so, I looked it up, and now I follow a few pages on Instagram and YouTube, and when they pop up, and it's almost like I'm listening to myself. Like
yeah,
it's second. I think my father, the way we grew up, my dad's a stoic, man. It's simple as that. He's basically a stoic, and so now I know Marcus Aurelius, like all these guys who are
yeah,
like the fathers of the discipline. I'm a stoic, and
yeah,
I wish I read more about it. It's very interesting stuff.
yeah. So you are into it. You're just not like like bookly or like if you haven't studied it, but in that way.
No, maybe it's the way I grew up,
Yeah,
my previous kind of experiences, life experience, but I think it all comes from that. I don't know.
it's probably just
Um,
like the way you are.
or maybe the way I am.
Yeah,
I don't know. You just I don't know any other way to think about life. It just makes sense.
yeah,
You know. Um, I don't know. I don't know how and why and whatnot, but Stoicism, out of all the disciplines, I would love to get into that and read, some of the texts that they have on there.
yeah.
I know Mark Ellis is like the biggest one, isn't he? Did he find it? Was he?
I don't know. It's not me.
Yeah, she would know.
Yeah, she would definitely know. Um, by the way, right now you're doing these like really high rep squats and also push ups and pull ups and stuff like that, and that seems to work
Yeah,
great for you. But I thought about when you're doing these high reps squats, like really like sets of 50. You also mentioned that you sleep better and you eat better and you recover better and you get the pump and stuff like that, and you get stronger the next week. Like
yeah,
almost instantly, you get stronger. Like that's how you
yeah,
get the 200 and the 210 and the 212 PR and stuff like that. But
yeah.
do you think that it would work alone without all the deficit deadlifts and Romanian deadlifts? Because I believe that you're building a lot of strengths with all the RDLs that you did back then and the deficit deadlifts now. And then when you're doing the high reps, you almost like recover really good and you make the strength that you built from that work now. So it's like it needs both to work.
Yeah, that's a great point, man. I'm always looking for causation, cause and effect, like in my
Yeah,
training program. Sometimes it's very, very difficult because it's, obviously the effects are not immediate.
yeah, yeah, exactly.
There are all hormonal kind of processes taking place. And so, I'll do something now, tomorrow I feel good, but is it really because of what I did now, or was it something that
Yeah,
I did 2 months?
exactly, exactly.
So
So
that's one of the things that always troubles me in my mind.
yeah, because the high reps seems to really work really quickly for you. Like
Yes,
you do high
yeah,
reps and you feel good instantly. Also, the
yeah,
hyperextension you did here the other day, and the next day you woke up without any like
nothing
pain from the deficit deadlifts or anything.
unreal.
Yeah, that's
Do you do like high reps like
so.
back?
I tried it here the other day because I watched your videos. Because I
Yeah,
have done a very heavy squat and deadlift session, and then I just finished the workout up with a lot of hyperextensions, and the next day I wasn't sore at all. So I mean, it also works for me, and I have done it before other times with just leg extensions, just like 3 sets of 50 or something, and my
yeah,
knees always feels amazing after that. Also, I've
yeah,
also warmed up with it before, so it's definitely something that works there, and it doesn't cost
yeah.
me on maximal strength at all.
No, you know, whether it's all about the blood doing the magic, circulation, improving recovery, nutrients in, waste out. I don't know what it is, but like in my mind right now, what's really dominating my thinking is the idea of concurrently doing things. So coming in, doing a heavy ass deficit deadlift session, and then immediately after that, doing the extensions, the hyper extensions to
Yeah,
like wash away damage.
yeah, I think that makes really good sense.
That's kind of what I'm thinking. The only trouble is the cost of everything. When I'm doing heavy deficit deadlifts, I can't do any form of heavy work on squats. Like I can't
Mm.
stabilize my lower back. I'm just so tapped out in my upper back.
But
I can't squat.
But is that like
You know,
muscular or systemically fatigue? Because for me, it's mostly systemically fatigue. Because I can be not sore at all in any muscles, but everything can still feel extremely heavy because, like, I don't know, when you're like CNS fatigue or whatever it is, I'm not sure exactly, but I think I can
yeah,
still be fatigued without being sore. Is that the same
yeah,
for you
definitely.
with the.
Yeah, there's definitely that. There's definitely that. For me, like the deficit pulls, like that day that I almost freaking fainted after a night shift.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, I don't know what that was, man. Maybe that's the blood sugar level thing or fatigue or whatever. But like, I felt all right physically. It's just I was just man, like it's almost like I don't have blood pressure. Like maybe it was
Yeah.
the central nervous system where it just the lights got switched off because I pushed so hard.
Yeah.
Uh,
I've noticed sometimes when I'm peaking to competitions and I'm adding like upping the tension and doing heavier and heavier weights for lower and lower reps all the time. Sometimes I have easier times like passing out training when training, or like not that I'm actually passing out, but I get lightheaded through sets and stuff like that. And here the other day I had a very heavy triple on my squats, and I had like two spotters on each side, and one of them wanted to help in.
also,
Yeah, and the other didn't. So when I was in the rack, I just started shaking. I've never tried that before. I just started, and I think that's
yeah,
because I'm so systemically fatigued right now.
you're so and then there's a force that does this.
Yeah, because the
And his
yeah, like
mind is
one
like,
of the
what?
spotters wanted to help in, and the other one didn't. So I just and
Yeah, that's very. I remember once again inspired by the Olympic weightlifting. I reckon I saw Kloko or somebody, doing a squat, and they oh no, it was Lasher. So when Lasher drops his weights from the back, he kind of like turns this way, and he lets it fall off. So I thought it was a great day. One day, I did my squats. This was like in my garage years ago.
Hmm.
And I thought, okay, straight after squats, I'm going to deadlift. So I wanted to drop the weights. And as I tried to do what Lasher does, like I didn't throw the weight up a little bit. It was still on me, and I turned.
Yeah.
So the bar on my one shoulder,
Oh.
my upper rhomboid. My lord, I thought like a snap spine
Yeah.
because it's like so you go axial loading and then you put in a twist. Oh my
Yeah.
god,
Yeah.
I've never done that.
But I suppose he like bounces it off his back or something, so he doesn't get that loading.
That's right. So he kind of jerks it a
Yeah.
little bit and throws. Whereas with me, I just try to like, man, it was a bad move. So yeah, in your case, when you have load, especially after finishing the set,
Yeah.
and then there is some like lateral or twisting motion,
Yeah.
that discs pop, you know.
Yeah, I was like in shock when standing there because I wanted to re-rack the weight, but it was like the pin was like this and the bar was under the pin and I was trying to push it up, but like, oh my god.
Yeah. It's just a miscommunication, as you said. Yeah.
Yeah, but then it happened that I just started shaking, and I think that was because of the systemic fatigue and not muscular fatigue.
Yeah. Strength is a neuromuscular expression, and people talk about what's more important, the nerve or the muscle, or which way it is, man. But I don't know, man. You need both.
Yeah, you need
If,
both.
if your nerves are shot, you can't do anything, man. It's just like having a bad computer system in a car.
Yeah.
You can't do anything.
Yeah. Also, I heard you talk about with Pete Rubish, about the upper back letting loose on the deadlift, that you wanted to like avoid that. But I think you would actually benefit from doing that because you artificially make your arms longer in the bottom position, and you can still keep your lower back straight. I think you need to keep that tight, but if you just let your shoulders roll a little forward, and then you can still roll them back at the top, I think you're strong enough in that portion, because it seems your top portion of the deadlift is very easy for you. So once you get to that, you have lots of I don't know what's called, but it's easy for you to just do extra stuff and pull the roll the shoulders back again into place.
Yeah.
But you would get a like mechanical advantage in the bottom if your arms are like longer, I suppose.
Yeah. People say that that's one way to build speed off the floor is just to kind of do a bit of thoracic rounding.
Yeah.
Somewhat. A lot of people that are weak off the floor are really the flat back deadlifters, ironically.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. Like, I don't think no matter what you do in a maximum deadlift, you will have, your shoulders come forward. You do.
But you have never experimented with like doing that on purpose.
On purpose, no. It's all only because the weight pulls.
Yeah. I tried it. I was also used to be a sort of back flat. My back was very flat when I deadlifted, and then I just tried letting the shoulders roll forward, and I instantly got like 20 kg stronger on the deadlift. But then it caught up with me, and my logout started to be really poor because my shoulders were in a advantage position in the bottom, but then when I reached the top, I needed to like basically do a face pull or shrug with like 270 kg in my hands. So I needed to do this with so much weight in the top, and especially for sumo, that's really hard to do. So now I'm doing like a middle thing where I have them a little down, but not as much down as I used to. My shoulders in the bottom position.
Immediately when you said to me about that, all I could think about was front squats.
Yeah, front squat. I really want to do front squats to get that upper thing, but the issue for me is my hips. For some reason, I don't know what. I've never seen anyone else have this issue, but my hips always get upset when I'm doing something where the knees travel forward. my like hip flexors, they get upset with knees forward squat motion. So that can be like front squats or even high bar squats, and sometimes normal low bar squats have also done that to me. But it has been gotten better because I've like really tried to like do a lot of goblet squats and like
Yeah.
kill that, like do that motion that hurts a lot to get rid of it.
So the immediate thing that I think about with that is, I mean, I don't know. You would have to test yourself to see the hip internal rotation, degrees, what you can get, and what the external rotation is. That's a simple test because when you squat, especially high bar and front squat, you go from a state of at the top, maybe from 180 degrees, like straight up, to maybe like 30-degree knee bend, 30-degree kind of knee bend. It's external rotation. Around parallel of the squat, you become internally rotated. So you need
Yeah,
good internal rotation to have that. And then at the bottom again, once you get into the ATG position, it becomes external rotation again. So it's kind of like external, internal, external, external, internal.
yeah.
So if
It's always
with
in the
that
bottom. The issue is also. It's also when
from the bottom.
It's only when I squat deep the issue is. So
Ah,
I don't know if there's something to it there.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, one thing to test out is to do marching, to do like those monkey feet exercises, like front kicks.
Yeah,
Actually, the other day in the gym, man, I often talk about this on the videos. I like watching people in this other gym where the 45-degree hyper is, and they have like these boxing bags on the other side, big like kickboxing bags, and there's a ring there, and so you can see all sorts of people around. It's not just powerlifters and bodybuilders. There's some guys that are like, kickboxers.
yeah,
And this one guy kicking the shit out of the bag. Like he's somebody. I don't know who he is, man, but he's like I don't know. He knows how to kickbox.
yeah,
He's doing his moves, he's kicking, and I'm noticing how he is, and he's all kind of like, like this, like full posterior pelvic tilt.
yeah,
Like his pelvis is fully rotated kind of forwards. So he's full, exactly opposite to me. I'm anterior pelvic
yeah,
tilt. My belly's sticking the
yeah,
other way. And he's kicking and kicking, and he's generating so much force through the hips. And I'm like, man, his hip flexors clearly like are doing 1 billion reps a day. But it was interesting to see somebody who clearly doesn't squat. He doesn't look like a squatter to me. He's got this kyphotic posture. You know how
yeah,
they're doing this and kicking, massive hip flexors, I think. But his posture was in such a way that it's enough. As soon as you started talking about hip flexors and the pain, I thought, man, this guy, I guarantee you, has a perfect squat. Like if he was to squat down, like I don't know if you've seen Muay Thai, all these boys have like incredible hip mobility.
yeah.
They can squat down so easily, and they're supple. And
Yeah, but the thing is, I actually have fine mobility for the squat. I can go to a pretty nice S to grace squat with like not much butt wing at all. So I have good mobility, but there's something like maybe I'm overstretching something. I've also been to the thought that my knees cave in sometimes and I need like outer rotation, and for some reason my glutes don't do that, and then my hip flexors take over and do that, and they get like overworked in some way or something.
yeah.
I also
I mean,
experimented with like bands around the knees and stuff to get the rotation out, but yeah, maybe it worked, but like my knee cave got a little less of a problem, but the hip flexor is still a little issue when I'm doing stuff like that. But I can't.
is your, how wide are your feet when you're doing these front squats and high bar squats? Is it a wider or is it narrower stance?
Normally I stand like fairly narrow to a normal stance. It's
Okay.
definitely
Oh,
never wide. I never do wide
okay.
squats.
Okay.
But I almost always find ways around it. So instead of I want to do front squats, I did the safety bar squat where I turned it around 180 degrees. So it's not in the front squat position, but the bar or like the weight is loaded in front of you. So
Yeah.
the load on the upper back to get the chest out exercise is like crazy high. So I only need 100 kg to be able to get my thoracic expansion or whatever to be the limiting factor. Instead of like 160 kg on the front squat or whatever I would need there to upset my hips. But so I can work the thing that I want out of the front squat without actually doing the front squat and not upsetting my hips.
Yeah, the upset hips is something that's interesting to me. Yeah, you're probably right. You probably have some sort of deficiency in the hip flexors. Yeah, I mean, you clearly have really strong glutes and hamstrings if you're pulling the way that you're pulling. Maybe there's a discrepancy there between the strength of the anterior hip and, you know, when you're trying to keep a vertical torso. I mean, this is something that I struggle with as well. There is a lot of demand for a flat back, you know, and so the hip flex is strong in order for you to maintain that position.
Yeah.
Can you see me? It's all good.
I cannot see you, but I can hear you. Oh, nice. There we go. Yeah, we should probably also soon end this.
Yeah, it's getting a little. I still got to upload the video as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all good.
Yeah, actually, when are you uploading the next video? Squad Every Day video.
Yeah, so I reckon it's already uploaded. I just have to do the bits and pieces and publish it. I reckon it's all ready now.
Yeah.
So it'll be 10-15 minutes as soon as I pop off here.
Nice. Then I can listen to it on my way to the gym.
Yeah.
But yeah. Anyways, thank you for coming in here.
No, it's a pleasure, man. Like, you know, it's always a pleasure to talk to somebody who's wired up mentally the same way as me. And you know, we all kind of, all of our lifters, all us lifters, we all kind of have similar thoughts. It's really, that's what I love about the community, man. It's just the brainstorming and bouncing ideas. And this is not hard work for me. It's awesome. I love thinking about all this.
Yeah. It's just like combining stream of consciousness together, like, and different thoughts about it.
Yeah, that's right. It's kind of like, you know, when you love to do something so much and you find somebody else that loves it as well, it's just automatic, you know, automatic, you know, union, you know, it's easy. I guess we can do this again sometime as well, man, if you want.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, anyways, thank you for coming, man. It was
No, absolutely. Appreciate you, man. Thanks for having me, man.